Hi, I'm Victor Margiotta, and this is the Community Show. My guests tonight are Chris Marbito, John and Ken Agnew, and we're going to be talking about Norwest Recreational Services, which provide services for special needs people. So I'd like to introduce Chris, and thank you for coming on.
You're very welcome, Vic. Thanks for having me.
All right. Why don't you give us a little history of Norwest?
Okay. Norwest is a social service entity. It was created in 1973 by a group of very forward-thinking municipal leaders from Peekskill, Cortland, Yorktown, and Ossining. At that time, in the state of New York, there was a deinstitutionalization movement of the developmentally disabled, and they were coming into the communities, and people that were working in those communities really weren't sure how to accommodate their needs, so created Norwest.
And how long have you been working there?
I've been there a little over 23 years now.
Oh my gosh. And what are some of the services that you provide?
Well, we serve individuals that have developmental disabilities, primarily in Peekskill, Cortland, Yorktown, and Ossining, from about age 7 to probably 68 is our oldest right now.
Okay.
And we provide after-school, evening, and weekend programs, trips, specific learning opportunities and recreational opportunities. And of course, while the participants are with us, the parents, as a byproduct of our service, get respite, which is critical for a lot of caregivers and parents.
Yeah, well, that's a perfect segue to talk to John. Tell us about your experience.
Well, Ken has been with Norwest since he was 5 years old, so 25 years now. And yes, when Ken is at a program, my wife and I can get to go to dinner, just the two of us, or to a movie, or to visit friends. So it affords us
my brother?
the respite time, or visit. Ken has a twin brother who lives in a group home, so sometimes we visit him. But we've also seen Ken grow and thrive in the organization because he's with people like himself that he can relate to, and helps develop social skills and self-confidence. He learned to swim there. In fact, just recently, this past weekend, we got the program for the next events, like for the fall schedule. And Kenny was like so excited, oh, open it up and read it to me and tell me what it's about. What are we going to, what are the options? What can we do?
And I signed up and I mailed it out already. So.
Right.
Because he knows that space is limited.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Ken, tell us a little about your experience there.
Well, I would, as my dad said, I started when I was 5. I went there, to get recreational opportunities and socialization.
Yes.
And now that I'm older, I help out people. I help out the counselors. Like one time, my friend was having a seizure at Playland.
Oh my goodness.
And I was alone because there was people on rides, and I knew something was wrong because she wasn't responding to my name. I mean, to my questioning, calling her name. So I called. Chris came over, and he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Kaylin's having a seizure."
Wow.
And she was having a seizure.
Well, that's great.
And this is what I did. We were sitting on a park bench, and she leaned like this, and I put my arm on her shoulder, pulled her close to my chest, and held her.
Excellent.
And she came out of it. I don't know how long she was seizing for because I didn't have a stopwatch, and I figure that's for the director to figure out.
Yeah, well, that's a great thing. Good job.
Yeah.
So, a little more about just the being able to take a little break from
My parents?
Oh, not you, but me.
Oh.
Yes, having the time where we know that they're in good hands, and Timmy was involved in the program too to some extent. We have like the 5-hour time frame where we can go and do our own, like go shopping, just stay home and not do anything and just kind of read the paper and relax. It's good.
That's a beautiful thing, definitely.
it's part of our lives. I mean, it's been going on for so long. And Kenny is very active. He has like 2-3 times a week he's doing something with Norwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, like bowling and then
Trivia was
trivia
Monday night. Dinner and a movie a couple times every 2-3 months. I mean, there's always an event.
Yeah. Now, where are you located, Chris?
We're in Cortland. We're on Furnace Dock Road at the back of Charles Cook Park.
Okay.
And Cortland has a special relationship with us because we are attached to them, and we lease the building from them, and they provide a lot of in-kind services, our payroll processing and petty cash and those types of things.
That's
so
great.
that helps us out tremendously.
Now, what area do you provide, and how does somebody come to use your services?
Great question. So it is Peekskill, Cortland, Yorktown, and Ossining. It's about a 69 square mile geographic area. And people see us on the website or get referrals from schools. We have an intake process where we get to meet the individual and their family. We take a look if they're in high school or elementary school, their IEP. If they're out, we look at their life plan and get a sense of what supports they might need, and then we talk about their levels of interest, what they're interested in, and then we try to find a program that meets their needs.
Excellent.
And like with me, I don't really have like intellectual disabilities, and I have more
Physical.
I have physical and neurological, because I'm hydrocephalic, so I have a shunt, and every once in a while it malfunctions, like it did a couple days ago. Actually, it didn't I didn't go into a full blown malfunction, but it did.
Well, once in a while this
Yeah.
happens, and he has to go to the hospital, and
Yeah.
many times his surgery is involved. But he's been good.
Clean for 8 years.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Now, what's the difference between Down syndrome and autism and special needs, and just
Okay.
for our viewers, just to understand?
So we serve folks in the arena of developmental disabilities. That's a broad umbrella term. It encompasses, as you mentioned, Down syndrome, people with cognitive impairments, and people that are on the autistic spectrum. And we serve all of those folks to varying degrees, depending on what their interests are. From time to time, we'll have someone that also has what we call a dual diagnosis. They may have a secondary disability, maybe a psychiatric issue, but primarily they have to be qualified with the New York State Office of Persons with Developmental Disabilities for us to serve them.
That's right. I do have to say that you were in the Cortland magazine,
Yes, just
and
this
I have to say hi to Sonia Garber again.
Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you, Sonia.
Yeah, we are in sync between her having the guest and me having a guest on the show. It's great, and we're both community based, so it's glad to see that we're both working for a great cause.
Yeah, that was wonderful that they did the little piece on us and gave us a lot of publicity and really kind of shone a little light on what we do. So it's great, just like you're doing. Thank you.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you.
having you guys on. Now, who would be somebody that would not be able to qualify for the program?
Well, for example, if someone just strictly had a psychiatric disability, this would not be an appropriate venue. Also, someone that just strictly had a physical issue, maybe was in a nursing home or assisted living, but didn't have any real cognitive issues that would qualify as a developmental disability, then they wouldn't really be appropriate for what we do.
Now, your location is at the Cook Pool, which makes
Yep.
it nice because you got something great there for the summer.
We do. It's wonderful that
Splash and dine.
Cortland houses us, and we take advantage of the Charles Cook Pool. That's also very exciting because they're in the final stages of building a miniature golf course, and we
No
hope to
way.
take full advantage of that. I watch them every day. They're really working hard the last 2 weeks and try to get it. I think in a couple weeks it's going to open, so that's exciting because our guys love miniature golf.
No more putt-putt where we have to like navigate obstacles like rocks and logs
Yes,
and am I
yes.
gonna fall? Or
It'll be wonderful, so we're looking forward to that.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the other programs? I know you do the bowling.
Yeah, well, we do bowling. That's our largest program. We have as far as we actually have two bowling programs. We have a youth bowling that takes place on Saturday mornings for younger children and teens, and then we have an adult bowling on Thursday afternoons. We have about 68 bowlers in that program, so it's a very large program. And actually, we are working towards this annual event that takes place in June. It's called the Louis Herzog Memorial Bowling Tournament, and it's a big deal. We get about 200 people to come out for the program, and get some pictures here of those events over the years, some montages from the bowling tournament. And we give out trophies. It's a big deal. And at that dinner, we announce anybody that's going into the Norwest Hall of Fame. And this year, it just so happens that Kenny Agnew is one of two.
Congratulations, Ken.
Thank you,
two
Victor.
members that are going to be inducted. The criteria is you have to have 25 consecutive years of involvement with Norwest. So that's remarkable. Right now we have, I think we're up to 19 people that have been in the Hall of Fame or been inducted.
And the tournament,
awesome.
and the tournament is named after a participant who
Yes, it passed
passed
away. Yes, and it's going into, I think it's its 33rd year this year. So for a grassroots agency that's been around for 45 years, it's pretty remarkable.
It is remarkable. And you guys are involved in Special Olympics?
Yes, yes. We were just up at West Point this past Saturday. The Special Olympics is a large, obviously, worldwide organization. The New York chapter, and specifically the Hudson Valley, does a great job. We're part of that. We were up in West Point. There was approximately 1,100 athletes that came. We had a small group of about 20. And they do, the shot put and the javelin and the running and the relays,
Volleyball.
and it's great. All track and field events,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
and we do about 6 sports throughout the year. But Special Olympics has 20-something sports that we only do a small piece of it, but it's great.
It is great. And West Point's beautiful.
Oh, it's a wonderful venue. It's the pageantry, walking on that track, coming in. They have the band there. They have all the cadets dressed up. It's wonderful.
and the Army football games.
Yeah, we go up to Army football too.
Do you?
Yes, we do every year.
Activity.
Every year, Army football. It's the standard. We
I
do
might-
a lot of
Good
special
stuff.
events.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do that this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done about it's like the seats are really really comfortable sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Staying power.
Now you guys created a board game.
Yes, we did. We have a program on Tuesday morning. It's called Creative Collaboration,
Okay.
and basically it's a small group of about 7 participants. And each season we get together. In our first meeting, we discuss what we're going to collaborate on. So over the years, we've done things like build a park bench. We made a cabinet for a not-for-profit. We did a mural. And this season, we decided we were going to make a board game, our own, personal board game called Creative Collaborative Comic Game. And everybody drew the pictures, and we have a picture of. I'm not sure if you guys have that up, of the actual board game.
Now, how do they reach you? How would
Well, it's you can call us at 914-737-4797, or our web address is nor-west.org.
Okay. Now, you get people that want to volunteer, and it's kind of tough to. There's a pretty strict program to get into.
Yes, for very good reasons. There's a significant background check beyond our interview process and our vetting people. They have to get their fingerprints done, and then the Department of Criminal Justice does a background investigation, and we have to make sure that everybody is here for the right reasons.
Yeah, because you do get quite a few people that would like to volunteer.
Yes.
And talk about your staff.
Okay, I work
great.
with wonderful. Thank you. I work with a wonderful group of people.
Rich.
Our program supervisor, who I think there was a picture of, her name is Cherie Pinto. She's been with us coming up on 4 years now. And my colleague, who was supposed to be here but is on vacation, her name is Wendy Greenfield,
Okay. and
she's been with the agency 30 years.
Awesome.
It's remarkable. She's my right hand and does a phenomenal job. And she's on vacation. She deserves it.
Yeah.
So.
And you're looking for help.
We are, and we have a talented group of part-time staff. We have drivers, we have monitors, we have lifeguards, we have swim instructors, and they're all great. I mean, they work, they really do it because they love it. I mean, we don't pay a lot of money, obviously, in the social service arena, but they show up. I don't know why sometimes, honestly, but they're there, and we couldn't do without them. I mean, it's just it'd be impossible.
Yeah. And there's no doubt about it. You can't do anything without money. That's a
Yeah.
It's part of the challenge.
Yes, it is.
So, what are some of the ways that?
Well, we are funded. We have a kind of a unique funding stream. The 4 communities I mentioned, Peekskill, Cortland, Yorktown, and Ossining, they tithe annually, giving us an annual, contribution, and then we get money from the state of New York through OPW DD, and then we also get money directly from Medicaid. And then we have some user fees, what we call venue fees. For example, we go to the Met game and it's $30. The parents pay that. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
But it's always tight. We always run a deficit pretty much every year because we just don't have enough funds. So that's always a struggle. We have to buy a new bus this summer, and we're grappling with that.
I hear golf outing in the making.
Well,
There you go.
it'd be nice if there's a lot of very, very, very wealthy people in this county, and it'd be nice if somebody just wrote us a check.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So,
You know what it is, though? It seems like everybody has a golf outing. And, at the Paradise, they're constantly coming in, can you support this? Can you sponsor? Can you, and it gets tough sometimes. So I always say we have to have a fundraiser to pay for all the fundraisers,
that's a good point. It's a good point.
But, it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Just trying to raise the money.
It is. It is a challenge. And there's some agencies that have a development officer, and they may work part-time or even full-time, and that's all they do. And, we don't have that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, years and years ago, there used to be institutions for people with disabilities.
Yes.
And that kind of failed. Now, what are some of the ways that people are housed besides living at home?
Okay, there's a wide range of options, thankfully, now. They have what's called supportive apartments, where there might be 2 or 3 individuals living in a typical apartment complex, condominium complex, and they have some staff that come in daily to just assist. They have bona fide group residences, which is more congregate care, and they have more round-the-clock staff. We have people living in individual housing situations, and then we have people living with their families.
Yeah.
So it is a wide range.
Okay. John, now, why don't you share your experience, for young people that have a child with disabilities. Tell us about,
Certainly, it's an interesting journey, and one at the start I would never have known what it would be like. But how can I say our objective? But we have the twin boys, and they both have cerebral palsy. Kenny's visually impaired, and his brother's blind. I think the way we felt, my wife and I, was we wanted to have as normal a family life as anybody.
Sure.
So we did the baseball, but it was Challenger League. We did bowling, they used ramps. We did swimming, they had, floaties, whatever, like other kids have. So, there were a lot of challenges with it, but you just take it day by day. And we were told at the beginning, don't project because it can sometimes be overwhelming when you do that. So you live day by day, which is the way everybody should live, I guess, to some extent.
Sure.
They're 30 years old, and I can still walk and talk, so I'm doing okay.
Doing great.
So yeah, I mean, it's been very rewarding. We've met wonderful people, having the boys, guardian angels that always come in when we need them. Kenny was fortunate because he was in a program. He just at school. He was in with the regular kids, but he had an aide, and he had the same aide
For 12 years.
for the entire time. So that was consistency. She knew him very well.
I knew her.
He knew her, and it worked out well. And then he had somebody for the visually impaired because of the braille and his visual impairment. But we've had a lot of support, and my wife has done also a wonderful job in finding that support. But the journey still goes on, and we just keep going. Now Ken lives with us at home, and his brother is in a group home.
Okay.
And speaking of journeys, like between 2008 and 2008 and 2010, I had 10 hospitalizations, 7 revisions on the shunt.
We wouldn't even get into all of that.
I know.
By the time they were 5,
We had 60
they had
surgeries.
55 surgeries.
Wow.
20, between the two of them.
Wow.
So no one could,
Unbelievable.
I don't know. We just got through it. Like I say, I can still walk and talk.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for?
I would say,
Live life to the fullest.
take it a day at a time. And really, I think the answer to how we accomplished what we did was we just love them, they love us, and we love each other. And that gets you through it.
Yeah,
Good
that's a
advice.
beautiful thing. All right, so we got to get a new bus. What happened to the other one?
Well, bus 18, Grandma, has to be taken off the road after
Put out the pasture.
after 16 years. So we got a lot out of her, but she needs to retire. So we have to buy a new one, and we're going out to bid through the town of Cortland, and we have a fund balance, but it's dwindling every year. We chip away at it, and eventually, unless we get some real, guardian angels out there to come out, we'll.
You may not be solvent.
Yeah. So,
We don't wanna think
so
about
we're thinking of doing some kind of GoFundMe project or
Yeah.
something this summer to help out a little bit.
All right, and now you have a cooking program.
Yes, we do, and I want to tap into your skill set, that
right.
other side of your skill set.
Okay.
We have a program. It runs once a week. I mentioned Cherie Pinto. She's our coordinator of that, and she loves to cook. She's a really good cook. And we basically break down the skills and teach them, recipes and measuring and chopping, etc. And then they go to the store, they buy the stuff, they come back, they make it, and we're hopeful that maybe you can come in as a guest chef. Talk a little
would
bit
love
about
to.
the restaurant industry, because
sure.
a lot of our guys tend to gravitate toward that field, and there are a lot of jobs that maybe they could potentially do in certain places. So it would be nice if you could talk about that with them, and maybe give them a little encouragement that that's maybe a viable employment option, because there's definitely not enough employment opportunities out there for these guys.
I would love to, and that's a great, would be a good opportunity for me too.
Yeah, and bring the cream puff.
All right. Speaking of cream puffs, I brought you guys a cream puff.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
Oh boy, I can't wait for that. I've been dreaming about that.
Now, you've been to the Paradise.
I have. I've been to the Paradise, but I love the pizza there. I'm
Yeah.
a pizza aficionado, as everyone knows, and I never bothered with dessert there. I never even knew you had dessert, honestly. So now I got to change it up when I come.
Yeah.
One less slice.
Okay. And what is your obsession with pizza?
Ever since I was small, I've always had pizza. My dad was a pizza maker, and,
Oh, okay.
and I tried to. I'm so upset because I made a video of him making pizza once. It was about 3 hours long, and I lost it.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it, but I've got his recipe for his sauce down, which came from Italy, and I got that down. But I'm struggling with the dough. That's my that's my challenge.
Yeah,
The dough is a living thing, and you can't get it right sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. Now you have after-school programs.
Yes, after school, evening, weekend, and we do all types of things. We're just like, as Kenny was mentioning, he came on a trip. We went to the Basketball Hall of Fame 2 weeks ago in Springfield. We go. We've done overnight trips all over the place, 2-3 nights. We've taken groups to the Mets games, the Yankee game, Broadway shows. The dinner theater
Elmsford
here.
Dinner Theater,
We go there. Anything that's out there, we're going to Comic-Con this weekend, which is a popular thing. Anything that's out there that the guys want to do and it makes sense and it's affordable, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Go to the Philharmonic in Lincoln Center.
That might be another agenda.
If somebody wants to do
they're
that, we
interested in
would
it.
we would consider that.
That's excellent.
So I mean, as long as there's an interest.
Yeah. And what is afternoon adventure?
Afternoon Adventures on Saturdays. It's a teen program, and they do trips into the community. They might go to the castle up in Rockland County. They may go down into Lower Westchester to do something down there. They'll go bowling. They'll do trip programs to anything that they could reach. It runs from about 12 to 4:30. So within that time frame, we'll pick up. We can go, for example, to a play, a local play in the area, or if there's a special event, we'll go to the county center, take advantage of that. So we tap into whatever's out there.
Okay. All right. Now, what would you tell parents about getting into the program?
Oh, I'd recommend it highly. You know, there's an application to fill out, but I think it affords a wonderful opportunity for their children to socialize, build confidence, be with their peers, get out in the community. It's good on so many levels. And I don't know how many programs there are out there that are like this. There aren't many.
Yeah.
And I think Norwest is one of the best. I mean, obviously, we've been with them for so many years. The people, again, like the Guardian Angel story, they're there too, and they don't make much money, and they don't do it for the money, obviously. So.
Excellent. Any last words about the staff?
They're a great group of people. I really come to rely on them, appreciate their unique talents and skills. We couldn't do it without them. And as I said before, they really do it because they want to help. You could tell.
Yeah.
This field is interesting because a lot of people think they want to come into it because they want to help people. And the reason they think they want to help people is because they want to feel better about themselves in helping people. But that doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
Really, you need that intrinsic motivation. That's really what drives, I find, what drives the staff. And that's what we look for. And it's hard to find that. It's really hard to find that. But we have a good core, solid group of people now that I think have that intrinsic ability. So
That makes a big difference.
Like
Yes,
one of the participants' uncles is one of the staff, actually.
yes, which is great. And my colleague Wendy, I mentioned before, she's got a daughter who's 30 years old that's on the spectrum, and that's how she got into this field almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's usually what motivates people. They have a friend, they have a cousin, they have a sibling, and they get involved.
What kind of training do they have to do?
Well, my background is a therapeutic recreation specialist, but you don't necessarily need that. But you basically have to have a good skill set with people. Yeah, you have to be someone that has some empathy. You have to have
Patience.
some empathy and patience. A lot of patience. Yeah, a lot of patience, and someone that can, deal with some stresses and not let it affect the participants.
Yeah, well, that's the key.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, for example, there's, no program. Thank you, Kenny. No program.
Interviewing.
No program. It's rare that a program runs super smooth from beginning to end. There's always a little glitch, a little something. Somebody didn't bring money. Somebody forgot their lunch. The parking was supposed to be free and it's not. I mean, there's always something that happens out there, right? But you got to be able to kind of roll with it and not let the participants know there's something wrong.
Well, that's it. You don't want anybody hitting a panic
You want
button.
to stress them
yeah.
out.
Exactly. But it's so funny now because with cell phones, whenever something happens, like all of a sudden we'll be riding along on 87 doing 55, and then all of a sudden we come to a grinding stop because something happened. They all take their cell phones out and call their families. We're stuck. And I'm like, we're not stuck. We're not stuck. It's just traffic. So but everybody's like,
Okay.
So,
Well, thanks for coming on.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Gentlemen,
Thank
thanks
you.
so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm
for-
Victor Margiotta.
Oh,
This is
you're
the
very
Community
wel-
Show.
You're very
Thanks for
welcome.
watching.